as you can see. Okay, so Stand By Me in A. It's this bossa nova version. You can click right there in the document. It'll open up in a browser and play this version. That's probably too loud. Okay, there we go. So in my favorite two,
when the night has gone and the land is dark and the moon is the only.
in my favorite two, I wrote out that melody, used that as a model, and wrote out that melody, and that's in favorite two. Scrolling to that. Okay, my version is page 204. It would be something similar to that. And just get the phrasing accurate to this. I'll play a little bit of it so you see that it matches.
When the night has gone and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, stand by.
And so on. Learn that melody so you can play it accurately, and then you could improvise between the phrases. And right now I'll continue with this preparation, which is likely a repeat of what we did, but that probably won't hurt. In preparing for using the diminished seventh arpeggios and half, whole, half figures in improvising. Suggesting my tone. My software is giving me some trouble, excuse me. I'm having to restart my software, but while I'm waiting for that to happen, remember, in the key of A, this is in the key of A, and it's 1-6-2-5. Here's 1, major 7, 6 minor 7, that's the same as 1-6, A6, 2, 5 suspended, 2 minor 7, 5 ninths suspended 4th. You could use the 6th string open, and back to A. Reloading that software. Here it is. Almost done. There we go. A little bit too loud. Okay. So I'm going to play with iReal and give examples. And I guess if you get the latest version of iReal, it should have 633 or more songs. And this is Stand By Me Bossa Nova version. And I'm treating the 2-5 B minor and E as a 2. So if we're playing the diminished sevenths to set up to each of those chords, I'm distracted, I'm trying to find it in this. Stand By Me, okay, got it. And it should be Latin style, Brazil bossa acoustic, and maybe 100 beats a minute is good to start with. And I'll loop it for the last 8 bars. Okay. So the 2 is the setup for the 1 family. And the 1 family is 1 and its relative minor 6 and 2 other chords. And the sharp 1 is a setup to be played before, that means the setup for the target chord 4 or its relative minor, which is 2 minor, 4, 2 minor, or 2 other chords. The other chords in each case are just minor thirds from those. That would be like 7, 2, 4, flat 6. That's the whole family, but the important ones are 4 and 2. And then the 1 diminished is for 5 and its relative minor 3. So 2 diminished 7th, sharp 1 diminished 7th, and 1 diminished 7th respectively go to the 1, 4, 5 families as I just described. So in this, most of this progression is 1 or 6. We're ignoring the E ninth or treating it as part of the B minor 7th, so we're really just needing to go to the 1 family, A or F sharp minor, 1 and 6, or the 2 family, B minor, and then E we're treating just like part of the B minor sound. So here's that in chords. The sharp 1 goes to 2. So did that make sense? 2 diminished goes to 1. And 2 diminished goes to 6. Sharp 1 diminished goes to 2. And then go to 5. And then 2 diminished goes to 1 again. And then start improvising in major pentatonic. And feature particularly, I like to say the 2 and the 6. Most important notes are the notes of the triad, but feature the 2 and the 6 because this major pentatonic has the triad of the key chord A and the 2 and the 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. And the most common added tone with major pentatonic to those 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 is 4. By using 4, you then have an upper neighbor for each tone 1, note above 1, note above 3, a note above 5. So first start improvising with just the A major pentatonic. I'll do that in a minute. And then work in just one of the diminished arpeggios. And just play, that's the 2 diminished. And you could practice this one in 4th position. And that works really well for the low range in A here. And if you play in blues style much, the upper range you might like in 5th position. And then that would be a different diminished 7th. So in 4th position, your B diminished would be, that's the 2 diminished. And remember, I have these default letter names for each of the diminished. This one is B, has a B in it, so it's B, D, F, A flat. Each default set of letter names starts with the natural letters. So another one is like on that A sharp here, that's a B flat note, and it's That set is E, G, B flat, C sharp. E, G, B flat, C sharp, or in this position, E, G, B flat, C sharp. And the last one is A, C, E flat, F sharp. So this one is with B, B, D, F, A flat, B, D, F, A flat, B, D, F, A flat, B. And I'll use that before the A or before the F sharp minor to lead to it. First, I'll demonstrate in a really straightforward manner. I'll just improvise a little bit and play this on 3 and 4 and then resolve to a triad tone, or 3 and 4 and then resolve to a triad tone. One thing to notice is, especially when you start getting more ornate with what you're doing with the diminished arpeggios, the diminished arpeggios and half, whole, half, is that you generally want to play elaborations in the half steps or lower chromatic embellishments below the diminished seventh tones, or above them descending. That was ascending, and then descending you went upper chromatic embellishments. You generally want to play these structures during the setup chord, and right at the end of the setup chord on the last beat, you want to start decorating with the notes of your target. I'll talk more about that later. So when I'm playing, in that case, leading to the A chord, this B note is in the A scale, so that's fine. But if I was playing this one, I think just a moment ago, this is when I thought of this. Playing this one, the last note is not in the A scale, not in a typical A major scale that I would play during this chord. So I might change that last note, the setup tone right before my target, and play the diminished arpeggio, and then during that beat 4, use a note that's in the target scale. So I'll use that a little bit to show it. So right there, for instance, when I went, considering that idea, I went and used an A note in the target scale rather than staying with the diminished. So next, the sharp 1 diminished to go to the 2 chord, and then just play with only that. Here's the sharp 1 diminished going to the 2 chord. It's this. And otherwise improvising with A major pentatonic. Coming to the 2 chord, I need the sharp one diminished, and that's that. So at the end of this bar, 2. Next time I'll come down that arpeggio from here. To stay more in the scale, I could do that, but in this case, this lower chromatic embellishment to the root of the B chord sounds fine because that would actually be part of B harmonic minor, and people are used to hearing that. So that half step sounded okay. So then next start pursuing half, whole, half, and this 2 diminished going to 1, put in half, whole, half. Just think of the arpeggio. There's the 2 diminished arpeggio, and put a half step below each tone. I'm playing in 5th position. This would be 4th, and this is 5th. In 5th position, my first finger can reach to the 4th fret. And half step below each one, ascending would be. And descending, which you can practice as a diminished scale, but it works better in your thinking and improvising of thinking these as the diminished 7th arpeggios with upper and lower chromatics. So that's for this one, or for the, that's for 1 diminished, here's for 2. Why don't we practice those together? Just practice this up and down. 2, 3, and if you get lost, just come get me in the next cycle. 2, 3, 4. Important to think the diminished tones and start thinking their letter names. B, D, F, A flat, B, A flat, sorry, F, D, B. Think the letter names of just the diminished arpeggio, because otherwise there's too many letters to be thinking that. Just B, D, F, A flat. Now go back and play on the progression and just put the half whole halves onto the 2 chord. So what I was just playing, fragments of what I was just playing. And I actually just wrote a study of these figures, and I'll refer to that study and include it